Hey everyone, welcome back to Car Future Wheels. When you first set eyes on the 2026 Subaru Outback, you realize Subaru hasn't just made another yearly refresh. They've taken the car that defined adventure wagons, given it a sharper SUV edge, and pushed it toward a future where practicality and style meet in a way that feels deliberate. The shape may be familiar, but the stance is bolder, wider, and taller. The front end sets the tone immediately. The wide hexagonal grille wears horizontal bars that look more architectural than decorative, framed by headlights that sit deeper into the fascia. Those headlights are slimmer, LED by default, with available adaptive bending beams that swivel as you steer, illuminating winding country roads or dark suburban corners with precision. Lower down, the bumper integrates wide air intakes and skid plate accents, signaling the Outback hasn't forgotten its rough and ready DNA. Shift to the side profile and it's clear Subaru wanted this generation to look confident even when parked. The wheel arches are squared off, the creases along the doors are sharper, and the ground clearance immediately separates it from crossovers that only pretend to leave the pavement. It now sits as much like a true SUV as a lifted wagon, and the wheel designs reinforce that image. Base models carry simpler alloys, while higher trims wear bold multi-spoke patterns up to 19 inches. Roof rails remain a staple, but Subaru engineered a new system that flips into crossbars without tools, letting you mount a kayak or cargo box in minutes. You start to see why outdoor enthusiasts have been so loyal to this nameplate. It's not just about looks, it's engineered convenience. At the rear, Subaru designers clearly aimed for a strong closing statement. The full-width LED taillight bar is more than a styling flourish, it's functional, rugged, and even playful, with the ruler etching molded into the lens, a small Easter egg for campers, DIYers, or anyone who likes practical touches. The liftgate opens wide and electronically, with hands-free operation on most trims. Beneath it, the load floor has been widened, and the threshold is lower thanks to smart suspension geometry. The bumper incorporates subtle metallic trim pieces that resemble skid plates, tying the rear design language back to the adventurous face. Step inside, open the door, and the difference is immediate. Subaru has leaned hard into tech and refinement. The vertical 12.1-inch center display feels like something lifted from a luxury brand, with high-resolution graphics and a processor that finally feels modern. And no lag, no hesitation. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto work seamlessly, and for those who still prefer wires, there are USB-C ports front and back with high-speed charging. Climate controls remain physical, a decision Subaru owners begged for, and one that makes daily usability intuitive. Move your eyes up to the 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster and you'll see how much information it offers: off-road pitch and roll, navigation, media, adaptive cruise visuals, and even customizable color themes that change depending on driving mode. Seating in the 2026 Outback deserves special mention. Subaru resculpted the cushions with low-fatigue foam, offering more thigh support for long trips and better bolstering in curves. Touring trims add Napa leather, heating and ventilation for the front, and even rear seat heating. A panoramic moonroof brings light into the cabin, and because of the increased roof height, headroom is generous even for tall passengers in the second row. Cargo space, already a selling point, has expanded. You get over 34 cubic feet with the seats up and more than 75 cubic feet when you fold them flat. And Subaru's durable cargo liners and tied-down hooks make it easy to carry bikes, camping gear, or that last-minute Costco haul. Under the hood, performance is where this Outback balances tradition with choice. The naturally aspirated 2.5-liter boxer engine remains the dependable entry point. It's not a rocket ship, but it's smooth, efficient, and adequate for drivers who mostly stick to commutes and weekend errands. For those craving power, the turbocharged 2.4-liter engine transforms the Outback's personality. With 260 horsepower and nearly 280 pound-feet of torque, it feels responsive off the line and confident at highway speeds. Passing maneuvers require less planning, and towing up to 3,500 pounds becomes realistic. The Lineartronic CVT, often criticized in earlier Subarus, has been refined again, simulating stepped gear changes under acceleration and engaging quicker under heavy throttle. Coupled with Subaru's legendary symmetrical all-wheel drive, Traction is predictable on gravel, wet pavement, and snowy switchbacks. The wilderness trim, as always, is the hero for outdoor adventurers. With almost 10 inches of ground clearance, reinforced skid plates, a front camera for spotting rocks, and chunky all-terrain tires, it feels prepared for backcountry trails. X Mode now has more granular controls, letting you tailor traction to mud, snow, or sand. Suspension damping was retuned for impact absorption, so while you might be climbing over rocks or ruts, inside the cabin you feel surprisingly stable. Safety is another area Subaru refuses to compromise. iSide driver assist technology is standard across the lineup, now with a wider field of view and higher resolution cameras. Adaptive cruise control with lane centering works more naturally, emergency steering assist can help avoid collisions, and intersection collision avoidance recognizes cross-traffic sooner. Higher trims layer on blind spot monitoring, rear cross-traffic alert, and a 360-degree camera system, features once reserved for luxury vehicles. Subaru also added a driver monitoring system that gently alerts you if your attention drifts, a subtle but meaningful safety net for long highway drives. Pricing strategy keeps the Outback competitive in a crowded segment. Entry trims start just above $30,000, making it accessible to buyers cross-shopping compact SUVs like the Toyota RAV4 or Honda CR-V. Step up to the premium or limited, and you'll pay in the mid to low 40s, which brings luxury touches and more tech. Touring trims near $45,000, while the rugged wilderness or turbocharged Touring XT can push closer to $50,000. But when you consider the standard AWD, the generous feature set, and the proven reliability, the value equation starts to look compelling, especially compared with rivals that charge extra for all-wheel drive or advanced safety systems. Living with the Outback day to day, you'd notice the quiet cabin first. Subaru engineers reshaped the mirrors, added underbody cladding, and lined the wheel wells to reduce wind and road noise. On a highway cruise, conversations remain hushed even at 70 miles an hour. The ride, while firm enough for control, feels forgiving over potholes and rough surfaces. City drivers will appreciate the tight turning radius for a vehicle of this size, and thanks to the raised seating position, visibility is excellent. So when you stand back and look at the 2026 Outback, you're not just looking at a vehicle, you're looking at a continuation of a story, one that began decades ago with a quirky wagon that dared to be different, and now stands tall as a confident SUV ready for the next adventure. That's why it's not just transportation, it's a statement. Thanks for watching this deep dive here on Future Wheels. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the 2026 Subaru Outback, give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and join the conversation in the comments. Tell us what you think. Does the rugged wilderness trim win your heart, or is the refined Touring XT more your style? Either way, the Outback story continues, and we'll be here to cover every mile of it. Until next time, keep your wheels turning and your adventures rolling.